plight of women in China. I thought some of you guys with an eye on an Asian international life might find this kind of interesting. Women in China are now more educated, more professionally employed, more financially stable than ever. They're incredibly resourceful, tenacious. They find opportunities and make the most of them, and many of them are living really happy and productive lives, which of course is what we would expect. And yet millions of women in China who are 29 years of age and older are still unmarried. And there's a lot of pressure in Chinese society for women to get married. There's pressure from family. In fact, a lot of women who have been interviewed in China have said that the pressure from family to get married is immense. And if that weren't bad enough, there's pressure from the Chinese government, who occasionally sends out literature and rhetoric and messages to Chinese women as a whole to put away your career goals and settle down and get married and put the motherland and your husband and those kinds of things before your own personal dreams and desires. It's a very, very interesting message that women in China are receiving. You can see the paradox, right? You can see that Chinese women are now thriving on a level that they've not previously been able to achieve. And yet, in the middle of all of this, they're still surrounded by 34 million more Chinese men than Chinese women. Isn't that remarkable?
Should you court a Chinese lady? Depends on the lady. It's not so much about their culture. They're going to want to get to know you, obviously, and you're going to be going out on dates, and it depends on how much time you have to spend with her there, right? When you're there, you meet her, maybe you're going to spend a few days together before you have to come back. Then you're going to be doing Skype, you're going to be doing, in China they do WeChat, so you'll be on WeChat, and you have video with that, so you're going back and forth, getting to know each other more and more and more. And then maybe you come back to China and you spend more time. Maybe you meet in Hong Kong or something, you spend a week or two together. I would say these courtships will last anywhere from 6 months to a year before they start thinking about a fiancé visa and then moving forward with that. Sometimes it lasts a week and they're doing a fiancé visa. Really depends on the two and how ready both of them are and how good they feel about each other in China. Never know. It depends for every couple. I will say it seemed to move a little faster, 10, 15, 20 years ago than it does now. It seems like the men and the women are a little more hesitant to move that fast. So we see courtships lasting a little bit longer than what used to be when we first started this business.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
Interested? Learn more at china-brides.com.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Then click on the notice bell to get notified every time we add something new.